Hello, my napping nesters, and welcome to another video. Today I will be reacting to more of the analog horror I've been watching. The Glendale Archives, sorry. Yeah. Just gonna be watching more of that. I don't have anything specific to talk about right now, so might as well just get into the video reaction, I guess. The world is empty, everything is
About a
fine.
week ago, I decided that I had to leave the city. It's been forever since I've seen another human. The city was just getting way too dangerous. I was pretty much barricaded inside my apartment.
Wait, hold on, what was that?
I was pretty much barricaded inside my apartment.
Okay, it sounded like it was banging on the door.
I was pretty much
So there's
barricaded inside
probably
my apartment.
nothing crazy.
Except to occasionally grab some
Visually, at
supplies.
least.
The nesters started showing up near my apartment.
This may sound crazy, but I think that the nesters are just creatures that look like fake humans. This could be totally wrong, I'm not sure, but it definitely seems like that.
And then another.
Alright, hold on. There's
Another.
That's on his porch, I think. That's freaky. They could probably climb.
I realized it wasn't the place. It was my routine. So I had to leave.
Why am I getting ads for phones that aren't even about the phones? Why do they show the full phone in the ad if it's just about an app? I don't get that. Anyways.
I decided to make my way upstate to my childhood home. It's deep in the suburbs. The population is obviously lower, so I assume less nesters. It's also vacant. It has been for a while, which makes it feel safer.
So I'm thinking, from the videos we've seen, and how much of this one we've watched so far, he used to live in the city, then he moved here, and then he moved to where, like, the mall area is.
Fewer places to hide, which means fewer reasons to move. No surprises. A lot of times I think I'm alone in a house, but I'm not. Being here, I feel safe. I feel somewhat.
I wonder if him realizing he's not alone is because of Mr. Whiteout. I don't know. If it's because of Mr. White. Huh. But yeah, I wonder if it's because of the shadow creature that is benevolent or somewhat not evil or whatever. Wonder if that feeling of not being alone is because of that.
Comforted because I know the history that's in these walls. I figure,
Oh, that's his old house. Oh, that's interesting.
if I'm gonna go down, I want to go down here.
Home.
It cut my travel time in half if I walked through the mountains rather than around. But first I needed to navigate the interstate roadways. I never thought in my life that I'd see them this empty. It's brisk up here. Take a look at this.
Lake. Oh, that's the lake he was at. I think.
Eventually, nighttime began to set in.
How old was that chicken for the chicken parmesan? How old was that chicken used for the chicken parmesan? Gross. It's gross.
So it's getting pretty dark out, and
Oop. Lagging. Sorry.
I'm picking up a nester about maybe a quarter mile out. It's just getting too dangerous to continue on foot. I have to find like a mountain house or something. I know there's some up in these mountains. I just gotta find one, and I pray it doesn't get too dark, because then it's gonna be impossible to see one.
If the nesters can hear, tracking them would be dangerous because they could hear. Because if they're close enough, they could hear your radio. That is interesting, actually. If they can hear, I'm not fully sure if they can. He thinks they can, and so I'm assuming they can.
So
Ah! I do not want to know what that is advertising to me.
There's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. Alright, I did take a look at my map, and I see that there is a clearing on the terrain just a ways up north here. So I'm gonna pray that it is not just a site for some previous architecture or something. I'm praying that it's a house or something, because it is not getting lighter. I gotta turn this thing off for a while. As luck would have it, I stumbled upon a house deep in the woods.
The Nestor's voice kind of sounds like grainy audio, if that makes sense. And they also produce radio waves, apparently. I wonder if they're like obviously they're not normal, they're like something supernatural, but I wonder if they're like machines or something, or like part machine. I mean, probably not, but that's like just a thought that came to my head. So this is just a random house. Abandoned Legos.
I guess this will have to do. The house was warm and cozy. It was a
Oh my god.
safe haven.
Oh no, I thought that was an ad. It was just then I paused at the perfect time, weirdly. Um, the abandoned Legos is like one of the only things that shown that that could mean that the humans just like vanished instead of just gone away or something consentingly. Like, I know that's like a weird thing to point out, but like, it was too clean for humans just to vanish, if that makes sense. I don't think that's like an actual story thing. That's just something my brain thought of out of nowhere. But then again, everywhere was like put up, like chairs were stacked on tables and gates for stores in the mall were down. So it's like they disappeared in the middle of the night. In the middle of the night. But the Legos were some proof that someone was someone could have been doing something and then disappeared in the middle of it.
midst of a snowy desert. Got a nice fire going. His signal's getting pretty weak, so I'd say he's probably about 3 miles out now. So I think we're safe here for the night.
He's on a tree. Am I seeing that right? Oh no, I'm seeing that wrong. Okay.
The next morning when I woke up, I couldn't believe the view that was hiding in the dark the night before. The next morning when I woke up, I couldn't believe the view that was hiding in the dark the night before. It had been a while since I'd seen anything that beautiful. I stayed for a while longer, took part in some activities that made me feel normal. Break 19, this is Tricky Spinner, do you copy? Eventually, it was time to leave. Eventually, it was time to leave.
Oh, he's just gonna leave the puzzle? I would recommend like grabbing a puzzle and keep it with you until you finish it, because like it doesn't weigh much and it is something to do. Yeah, that's kind of all I have to say about that.
After a while, I could feel the air was changing. The trees were getting more sparse. The snow was melting a little. I was descending from the mountains. Before I knew it, I began seeing familiar landmarks. But the evening snuck up on me quick that day, and I was still a few miles from home. All right, I found it a diner.
Not the best place, but not the worst.
I sat for a moment, weighing whether it was worth turning on the electricity and opening up the kitchen. Since the kitchen and dining room had no windows, I decided it would be safe.
Oh, those are mirrors.
I brewed myself
In
a
the
cup
dark.
of French roast coffee.
In the dark, they kind of looked like windows.
The warmth and familiar comfort of the drink lifted my spirits, easing me towards the promise of a long sleep in a warm building. I guess this spot is as good as any to park up for the night. I'm gonna sleep in this booth. I've slept in worse. Good night. The next day, I headed straight for home.
Bit laggy.
The next day, I headed straight for home. Finally, I had reached a very familiar sight, the edge of my neighborhood. I had made it home. Finally, I had reached a very familiar sight, the edge of my neighborhood. I had made it home. All right, my house is just beyond this hill here. My house is just beyond this hill here. So we're getting in early. I'm glad about that. I gotta move because it's getting dark. The sun is starting to set here. So here we go. Okay, I gotta be mindful of these. There are steps here. It could be a nester. So I really gotta be careful. There it is. Alright, I think I'm gonna go in through the basement. It seems like the best route. I had to be quick because I really didn't want a nester to see me approaching the house. Oh, please, younger me, have forgotten to lock this. Luckily, the window's unlocked. I've learned a preemptive approach to entering a strange building. I'll leave my CB radio with the volume all the way up. Let's back up and give it some room. If nothing comes, I generally know it's safe.
The nester that's behind the tree that gets woken up because of this. That is really smart, though.
I entered through the basement and gave it a walkthrough. Furnace room. Better check the wine closet.
It's more laggy right now. Why is it more laggy right now? It shouldn't be. I'm going to give it a little bit of time to load and... Okay, I'm back.
closet.
Okay, that's just loaded like that.
All looks clear.
Hmm.
Walking upstairs into the living room, I was struck by all the memories that flooded me. This is where we spent most of the time. Felt like time had left me behind.
Just okay, hopefully it's done being annoying. Okay, I reloaded the whole video. I don't know what to do
I even found
for
proof
this
that I was
part.
once here. My and a childhood friend's name. I even found proof that I was once here. My and a childhood friend's name that we etched inside the wooden beams. That gave me a sense of comfort. I don't know why. Okay. This was my room.
Okay, I can't actually.
I better check this storage space.
Alright, I'm gonna have to restart my laptop because what the fuck is happening? Okay, hopefully it works better now. Yeah. Hopefully it works better now.
Gas doesn't work. I even found proof that I was once here. My and a childhood friend's name that we etched inside the wooden
Yes.
beams. That gave me a sense of
Way
comfort.
better.
I don't know why. Okay. This was my room. I better check this storage space.
Where's the lag all of a sudden?
Space. This was my brother's room. He used to look a lot bigger. This was my brother's room. He used to look a lot bigger. Typically by now, we would have run into somebody. A nester, I'm pretty sure. This house is clear, which is good. A lot of these homes are furnished, which means that there's more. Now, we would have run into somebody. A nester, I'm pretty sure. This house is clear, which is good. A lot of these homes are furnished, which means that there's more resources in the house. More resources just means more like trouble you can run into. Check the garage.
I mean, that would make sense. Houses would have food and warmth, and a living creature needs that, and nesters are probably living.
Oh, I forgot about the attic. Okay, I think we're safe. So, this is a great place to nest, right?
I'm not gonna show the ad in the video, but if there's any search engine appealing to a political party, that's very suspicious.
Right here, because I can put a fire in this fireplace. I can cook some food. The nest right here, because I can put a fire in this fireplace. I can cook some food on the fire because the gas stove's not working. And here's the big thing. Plenty of routes out. So I can escape through this big door. Plenty of windows. I can escape back through the basement. Or I can go over here in the kitchen where there is 2 exits. I prefer not to go upstairs because that's a place where I've been cornered before. The main thing is
That is interesting that he's been cornered upstairs before.
there's nobody here. There's no one living here now. So that's good. And that means that I can park up right here. I got some bread, some cheese, some butter, some garlic, and I'm gonna get a good night's rest. And we'll see, maybe I'll stay here a couple days because there's a lot of other things around this area that
Bread, butter, cheese, and garlic. I think he's gonna make a grilled cheese. A pretty good grilled cheese.
I would like to scavenge for potential. Thanks. Could be some good stuff around here. It was getting dark, so I began setting up my room for the night. So it's nearly nightfall, so I think it's a good time to start building the fire. Now with the fire, I like to start with a 3-layered base, a 3-log base. This gives the embers a place to fall and continue to burn. Without a solid base, the embers just fall, hit the stone, and then they burn out. So this will help our fire last a lot longer.
Makes sense.
Next, we're gonna build walls around the base. I like a Lincoln log pattern myself. Usually I build these walls a lot higher, but I'm gonna be cooking a grilled cheese on this later, so put a log on top.
I knew it!
Yeah, you wanna give everything a destination, you know? The embers go down, the flames go up. So next we're gonna stuff the fire with some of the debris I got earlier. Got some sticks. Birch wood. And of course, Old Faithful, some dried up leaves. So we need to put some in the sides, top here. This is a concoction actually my grandfather taught me. He was a farmer, and he was very, very skilled in woodworking and tractor mechanics, so he always had sawdust and old motor oil lying around, and one day he decided to combine them, and what resulted was a very slow burning concoction, and we called it Firestarter. So, sprinkle some of this on top, some in the entryways. Look at that beaut. That's a good old fire. I like that. I felt safe for the first time in weeks. And then I found her. Okay, it's nearly dark. And I'm a little freaked out right now. Because, like an idiot, I didn't check every nook and cranny of this place. And I found this. I found a nest. This is the room that I came in at. So, like, I was just so damn eager to check the rest of the house that I didn't think to open this freaking closet.
Weird. Oh, I thought he was gonna walk into the nest a little bit more. It kind of just looks like a place some person would set up to sleep. Like, not the best way to set it up, but, like, yeah. To be fair, warm and comfy things would probably be chosen anyways if it was just scavenging around. So it could just be that it was just stuff in the house.
I'm just like freaked out because it's too late to go anywhere else. I don't know if this is a live nest. It's like, no wonder this window is open. There's a lock on the door upstairs. And I'm just gonna lock it. And lock all the other doors, and it should be fine. I just pray that's a dead nest. It could very well be. I mean, that happens all the time. It's just they never leave their sleeping bag. They never leave their pillow. I mean, why would you do that unless you were coming back?
Okay. Okay, if the other nests have a sleeping bag and pillow, these things are somewhat intelligent.
I couldn't let it break me. It was too dark to leave. I told myself I was old, inactive, that I hadn't done anything to wake it. I had stopped at the market along the way to get some ingredients for grilled cheese. Okay, so I have 2 slices of white bread, a few slices of cheese, and some butter.
Bread.
I also found a clove of garlic nearby, so I'm going to cut that up and mix it in with the butter. Let's start with chopping the garlic. So I threw that garlic all into my iron cast pan. I'm gonna add some butter here that's going to melt over the fire. Next, let's assemble our sandwich.
I am gonna judge this a little bit. There are better cheeses to grab if everyone is missing than fucking Kraft singles. There are better things to grab than that. There's no one else there. You might as well grab some sharp cheddar and mozzarella. Like, come on. I'm not gonna judge too much on the Wonder Bread, though. White bread is quite good.
Northeast winds around 5 miles per hour. Chance of rain 20%. Sunday, mostly cloudy. Highs in the lower 60s. Northeast.
What? Is that like a nester, or... Because that's like... That's something humans have to manually input, I think. Okay.
East winds 10 to 15 miles per hour.
Alright, so this fire has died down enough so I can throw the pan on with the butter and the garlic. We're gonna let that butter melt. This is actually a great level of heat for this butter. It's not too hot, not too cold. Gives the butter time to melt without burning it. Okay, the butter is nice and melted, so I'm going to throw the sandwich on now. Cooking over an open flame gives the bread and the cheese a rich, smoky flavor, which you'd never get on a gas stove, which is nice, but it's tricky because the heat is intense and uneven, so you gotta be careful. The goal is to toast the bread and caramelize the cheese evenly, and it's delicious.
Caramelize.
Just flip.
Never heard anyone describing...
I tend to like my grilled cheeses a little overdone.
I never heard anyone describing melting cheese as caramelizing it, but sure, I guess.
I never quite understood why people don't like their cheese caramelized. I mean, that's like the best part, you know, and the cheese hits.
Oh, he's overcooking it. Okay, yeah, that makes more sense. It's gonna be more crunchy, like a Cheez-It.
Cheese hits the pan and nicely. Look at that. That is a grilled cheese right there. That's gonna crunch. All right, let's listen to this crunch. Woo! Now let's go in. Oh. I can taste that smoke.
Bro could have gotten tomato soup too.
This is hitting the spot. I can't wait to just get warm and toasty in my sleeping bag. I'm tired. I walked a lot today. Aside from the nest in the basement, which I think is dead. This was a pretty normal day, which I don't have a whole lot of those. Whatever potential threat that is beneath me in this house, this really makes up for it. Nice warm place to sleep. I haven't heard anything either. I haven't heard anything in the basement, so that's good. I haven't heard anything in the perimeter. I like to keep my radio on. I keep my radio on for a few different reasons as I fall asleep. One, this is an omnidirectional antenna, and it has a 5-mile radius, so I can pretty much hear, you know, anything within a 5-mile radius, and then I can determine whether it's a friend or it's a threat. I can plan accordingly.
If it's a friend? If it's a friend? I mean, I guess there's like some things that would be good, but I wouldn't describe it as a friend. Unless there's something else out there, but okay, I guess, I don't know.
Secondly is a lot of radio broadcasts run on loops, and they can be actually surprisingly useful. One of my favorite channels is the Weather Channel. Let's see if we can get it.
The dew point 54 and the relative humidity 86%. The wind was north at 5 miles an hour.
Yeah, so it's fully automated using unmanned meteorology stations around the US.
And I am back. There was someone at the door. Sorry. Too bad I'm not the owner of the house, though, so I should just tell them to go away, because the owner of the house isn't here right now. Anyways. Continue on with the video.
And it transmits, you know, real-time weather data, so I can tell how cold it's going to be tonight or what the weather's going to be like tomorrow, so I can plan. And thirdly, I like the sound of radio hiss and radio static. It just helps me sleep.
Nice. Radio static is so nice.
It's time for this man to hit the hay. I'm gonna hit the hay. I'm gonna leave this on right here. And I'm gonna stay alert. Good night. I left my radio running that night. It just made me feel safe. And I fell fast asleep.
Fast asleep.
I definitely hear something.
You're an idiot. This is an idiotic move. You locked it in case something was up here. Or down there. Hello?
I swear I heard something, but I think I'm losing my mind. So, just turn this on.
Archivist here. Thank you for watching this log. We're continuing to restore and edit additional footage as more materials are uncovered. Being a private investigation, I want to extend a special thanks to our patrons who help sustain this archive. Welcome to all the new members. If you'd like to support this work, see unreleased footage, and help me determine what footage is released next in our subject story, you can find the link below. As always, stay vigilant.
Huh. Okay. So, now no nesters use sleeping bags and pillows, so they might think similar to humans. Maybe. It could explain how they survived, how at least a few of them survived easily with all the human technology around. It could also explain how stuff like power is working, because like it could just be some of the and nesters keeping the stuff running, which would be honestly interesting. I don't fully get what nesters are supposed to be other than like an enemy to the main guy, but they are definitely intelligent and might be continuing to keep the world working that humans have disappeared from. Which could also explain some, like, the food not going bad if they, like, are continuing to farm. And that would also rely on animals still existing, too, which I'm not fully sure if they are, but, like, yeah. Hmm. Kind of weird. If the nesters are intelligent, it's weird that they go after the the guy that's just kind of existing. I mean, to be fair, he he did kill some nesters later on, but like, why would the nesters be hostile to him in the first place? It's it's a it's a bit weird, but like not the most confusing. It's just like a little bit of, huh, that's strange. And then there's also And then there was also no other mention of Mr. Whiteout, which I kind of wished Mr. Whiteout was explained a little more, because, like, I don't know. It just seems, like, strange. So, hmm. Yeah, that's all I got for this video. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope to see you again next video. Bye.